Good morning. Globally, markets and policymakers are still digesting the economic shockwaves from the Iran war and the contest for control around the Strait of Hormuz. The Financial Times reports oil prices have lifted again as Washington and Tehran trade threats over maritime security, with President Trump warning the U.S. Navy would shoot and kill any boat laying mines in the strait. The same reporting highlights how some oil tankers are still slipping through Hormuz, with major trading houses working to reposition vessels out of the Gulf. In Washington, the conflict is also spilling into domestic politics and administration. The U.S. Navy Secretary has been fired after clashes with the Defense Secretary, adding another layer of uncertainty to U.S. crisis management. The global economy is feeling second-order effects. The Financial Times says U.S. farmers are being hit by spiraling input costs, particularly fertilizer, compounding pressure already created by trade tensions. Separately, airlines are facing a squeeze as fuel costs rise while fares are being cut in competitive markets. A dynamic analysts say reflects hedging, route competition and demand management. On artificial intelligence and the broader technological revolution, U.S. politics is sharpening. The Financial Times reports Republican Senator Josh Hawley is warning of a political cost for supporting AI, urging his party to refuse money from big tech lobby groups. That signals a more populist, skeptical line on AI policy and corporate influence, and it raises the prospect of tighter regulation and a more contested environment for AI deployment. In global conflict beyond the Gulf, the BBC reports daily life in Tehran is marked by financial strain and uncertainty about a return to wider war. Al Jazeera reports continued violence in the occupied West Bank, including the killing of a Arabic teenager during an Israeli raid, and mixed views in Lebanon ahead of controversial talks with Israel. In Africa, the BBC reports an inquiry found more than 500 people were killed in Tanzania election violence, while Al Jazeera warns more than 6 million Somalis face hunger amid climate shocks and conflict. Turning to Australia, the most material policy development is the Albanese government's major reform package for the National Disability Insurance Scheme. The Guardian reports the changes are expected to deliver significant budget savings and could see at least 160,000 participants lose access over the next 4 years, with the Disability Minister Mark Butler arguing costs have become unsustainable. The reforms are already drawing strong criticism from disability advocates and participants, and the political debate is likely to intensify as implementation details emerge. On the Australian economy, cost of living pressures remain front of mind. SBS reports renters are at their limits. Rents are still high, but growth is slowing and diverging across capitals, suggesting some easing in momentum but no broad relief yet. In the regions, SBS also reports a renewed mouse population boom, with CSIRO warning of an outbreak whose causes are not fully understood, a potential hit to farm productivity and costs. On energy and the transition, The Guardian's reporting frames the Iran war as refocusing attention on green energy and the renewables push, sharpening questions about whether Labour's policy settings match the scale of the moment. Finally, in corporate and markets news with global spillovers, the Sydney Morning Herald reports Warner Bros. Shareholders have approved a $110 billion Paramount mega-merger, while rejecting a proposed CEO pay package, underscoring both consolidation pressures in media and investor scrutiny of executive compensation. That's the latest on the key developments to start your day.